Hey guys, and welcome back to Okami. The Emperor is well again. We defeated Blight and Goldnail from within, and manipulated him into freeing Kaguya. Don't ask how. Really, there's no reason why. Really, there's no reason. Don't look up any FAQs and whatnot.
But it's all good, because the Emperor is going to prove incredibly useful to us. Obviously, Isun is blaming Queen Himiko for everything that's gone wrong, and Isun's determined to give her a piece of his mind. But you see, I am very much more interested in what is hanging around the Emperor's neck, because they are Demon Fangs.
Oh,
and
right.
He is our final main Demon Fang merchant. So he is the one who has all the goodies. So, basically, there are 3 things that we can pick up right now. The Fog Pot, which is incredibly useful, because what it allows us to do is it allows us to use the Veil of Mist to transport to any of the origin mirrors around the world.
Oh, okay, that's the other transportation method you were talking about when we were discussing the mermaid pools.
I believe it was. There is also one other thing that you can do, because ultimately, as you can probably tell by this, you can upgrade your brush techniques, which gives you new powers. And so this is particularly useful because it means that we don't really ever have to use mermaid coins ever again. But there will be another technique that we can use, which will mean that they are completely eradicated from needing to be used whatsoever.
Nice. I think you used 1 coin throughout the entirety of the playthrough.
You see, it's masterful. Annoyingly, we don't have the option to buy the thing that I really desperately want to buy yet, but it will come, I promise. I will need quite a few more Demon Fangs to get it, but it will all be fine.
I don't know whether it's because I'm just, reaching for stuff to talk about now, but I like the idea of, such a prominent royal figure also being a merchant. It's not something that happens all that often. It's just like, oh, you saved me. Here's where you need to go next. Bye!
Yeah, I mean, I think what's the whole point of it is obviously because he's the Emperor, he has lots of treasure.
Yeah.
And ultimately, well, partially he's grateful for the fact that he's no longer ill, so he's in a good mood. And also because he's the Emperor, he likes shiny things.
Yeah.
Why not collect Demon Fangs and say, I'll give you something if you give me my Demon Fangs? It's a nice little trade. It works out perfectly well.
Right, who's this Bantsmeister here?
He's just a random soldier, and what's quite funny is that the soldiers, I think, were able to move about whilst the smoke was about, but, well, obviously they were, because it was them that we were using as platforms to get everywhere.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And it's also quite fun because obviously you get to run around the Imperial Palace, and you can see sort of roughly where the different bits of the dungeon were, which is just quite fun, to be fair. But nothing hugely important as yet.
Well, it's just nice to be able to see things from multiple perspectives, you know?
Oh, indeed. And now that we have rescued Sei-an City from the acrid mist, a butt-ton of side quests have opened up. Obviously, first off, we need to speak to Kaguya and just make sure she's okay. But after that, side quests galore.
I'm looking forward to it, mate. I liked the animation of the 7 whatever sword, by the way, just how it looks like a flowing flame.
Oh, it is just so cool. There are quite a few weapons like that that are going to come up, which just move in really awesome ways.
Okay, so is Mr. Bamboo not her, paternal/maternal, biological, I should say, grandfather?
Indeed, because obviously this follows the story, the tale of the bamboo cutter, and so Kaguya was found in a bamboo grove by Mr. Bamboo, and he brought her up as his own child.
Gotcha, fam.
But we are very quickly going to find out the past, well, Kaguya's past and everything that relates to her. And she's not really making much sense as to where she's going to run off to. But she's mentioning a royal crest and a grove of bamboo, and then obviously flat out says Sasa Sanctuary. So,
okay.
Once we are sorted here, we are going to go head straight to Sasa Sanctuary to make sure she's all right. And ultimately that will bring to an end Kaguya's story.
Not the most in-depth arc in anime history, but I'll take it.
Well, I mean, the thing is that the actual story of the Tale of the Bamboo Cutter does resolve itself in a very simple fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you look at it in terms of the plot elements, it's very standard, very short in terms of moving from one point to another. But at the end of the day, it's still very powerful, and anybody who's watched The Tale of Princess Kaguya knows that it is a beautiful story.
That is a Studio Ghibli film, right?
Indeed it is. It was technically their last film. Their true last film was when Marnie was there, which is, to be fair, it's a decent film. But The Tale of Princess Kaguya was essentially their swan song.
Okay.
Because it was, like, the art style was stunning, because it was very much in this vein of classical Japanese painting, like the ukiyo-e. I'm probably butchering that. I've said it properly before, but oh well. And it's stunning. I am gutted that it didn't win the Oscar that year.
What did, actually?
I can't remember. I'm just going to double check.
I'm still kind of peeved that Moana didn't get the Oscar.
Oh, for Best Original Song? Yeah, so annoyed about that one.
Gotta say, this place looks mighty purdy now that we've taken away the fart gas.
Oh god, yes, because it brings back colour, and it's so helpful. Right, nearly there. Okay, so in the year that The Tale of Princess Kaguya was nominated, Big Hero 6 was the winner, which, to be fair, I am happy about because I love Big Hero 6, but I do feel that The Tale of Princess Kaguya is the more artistically spectacular film.
I like Big Hero 6 a fair bit. I would put it in the middle tier of, like, Disney's stuff. Is it Disney or Pixar? I always get it mixed up.
Disney.
Okay. It's no Frozen. It's definitely no Moana. It's more of a popcorn flick in my eyes. Like, I can watch it once and I'm kind of done, like we did in the second Disney one, actually.
Yes.
But it's a fairly good film, and I don't know. We are still doing the Ghibli-thon this year, by the way. We're aiming to start recording in July or so, and what is it? We're covering the stuff in the Ghibli collection?
I believe so, and ultimately that will include The Tale of Princess Kaguya,
Nice.
so that will be a lot of fun for me to do, although I will tell you now, well, I mean, to be fair, I'll be commentating, so I might be okay, but there's a very, very strong possibility that I will be a mess by the end of that commentary.
It's fine, mate. It's real, you know, and that's what we are here at HFC. Real stupid.
Indeed. I mean, to be fair, the one that I am least looking forward to commentating over because of how hard going it is Grave of the Fireflies.
Oh.
Because that is such a beautiful and heartbreaking film that, like, I remember when I watched it, I seem to recall just crying throughout most of it. It's such a sad film.
Oh my god, this puts me in mind of, like, a thing that happened with the best friends, you know, two best friends play.
Oh, yes.
I forget who it was who did it, but one of them was torn up over something from Grave of the Fireflies, and I'll try to paraphrase as best I can as not to give spoilers away, but it was basically to do with a rattling can.
Yes.
And what one of them did, and I think this was towards Wooly, who always got, like, upset when this happened, was they got like a little tin thing of sweets and ate all but one and started rattling it about.
Oh! Oh, that is just cruel.
Now that I think about it, it may have been Matt towards Wooly. I don't know. I haven't read the TV tropes page in a while.
Yeah, Grave of the... I would heartily recommend watching Grave of the Fireflies because it's a spectacularly well done film. It's a really difficult watch.
I think the only two Ghibli films I've watched from beginning to end are Spirited Away, which is kind of like, you know...
That's standard Ghibli.
You know, it's pleb tier, it's an entry film, you know, everyone likes it, so I can't like it anymore. I'm kidding, it's fantastic, it's great, voice work, animation, story, the whole Megillah. But, yeah, I definitely want to, like, get into more of Ghibli, which I guess was the conception for the Ghibli-thon. And, Porco Rosso I actually watched just randomly. Like, a mate of mine said, do you want to borrow this DVD? And says, oh, it's got an animated pig on it, sure, why not? That's my fetish.
No, see, I'm not actually that big a fan of Porco Rosso. I just find it really slow.
Yeah, you've told me this before, yeah.
But then, to be fair, it has been a very long time since I last watched it, so you never know. My opinion might change.
It's mostly going to be Richie and myself. We may have guests on certain ones, but I just wanted something Richie and I could do, because, you know, Disney Fund was like loads of different people. It was a massive collaboration thing. We wanted to go a bit smaller this year.
Oh yes, I mean, it's still a ridiculous number of films, because it's like, is it 22 now? Let me just have a look at my collection. Yes, it's 22 now.
Well, don't forget, I think the original Disney font, like the very first one, not the proto font, that was only 10. I think the first proper Disney font was about 21 or so. And then you had, like, the second Disney font, that was like 31. Like, one for every day of December. I was so proud of myself for getting that done. Like, you've got no idea. That's probably my biggest accomplishment beyond the charity stuff for HFC.
I would say, like, it was a very impressive feat. Obviously, from my perspective, I was just like, oh my god, I can't keep up. But it's still fun, and also you can see, I told you that at some point my Wiimote was going to start having a hissy fit.
Yeah.
This is that time.
I do want to comment on it, because, you know, I riff enough as is, but, what was the point of this whole Ghibli spiel? Oh, right. Look forward to the Ghibli-thon from HellfireComms. The HellfireComms Ghibli-thon, December 2017, y'all.
Indeed. And obviously the reason we got onto it was because of Kaguya and the Tale of Princess Kaguya. So you see, it all ties together.
Ah, it's like a circle. It just goes round. I don't know where I was going with that. I apologise. I was originally going to say, oh, it's a circle. It's all square-like. Like, what the fuck, Tom? Like a couple of parts ago, I was like, oh, it's legit. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Well, I think the point we were trying to make, and failing slightly miserably to make, was that it's a circle. It all comes back to where it began.
There you go.
But obviously, we can now fish with Benkai in
Nice.
Sei-an City. So he's no longer going to be sat on the bridge, he's now going to be here. And he is not moving from this spot, so you can just get loads of fish here. I'm not going to do anything much for the time being, but I would certainly recommend going and doing some fishing at some point if you want to fill out your fish tome.
Well, to be fair, he's fulfilled his life's ambition, so I guess he's retired now.
Well, exactly, yes. That's totally fine by me.
I gotta say, I love how the exorcism beads are just like Magatamas spiraling around Abu.
Oh, I know, it's really cool. I absolutely adore the look of pretty much all the rosaries. And to be fair, I like the look of all of the weapons in the game. There are some that I would say I adore slightly more than others because they are just really fantastic. I mean, I'm going to see if I can get up the list of everything.
No, you don't have to give any spoilers away. You could say, like, 1 weapon from now, 2 weapons from now. That's me fave.
So I would say that my favourite reflector is actually probably the Infinity Judge in terms of its design.
Okay.
The final reflector is cool, but I don't know, something about it just feels very thin. in terms of design, especially when compared to the other pieces, well, the other designs.
Just seems a bit brittle, maybe.
Rosary, in terms of design, is our next rosary after the exorcism beads. We've got a little while to go, well, quite a long while to go yet before that turns up, but they're pretty damn awesome. And then, let's see what the glaives are. I think my favourite might be one of the next ones, actually. Yeah, so I am quite a big fan of the design of the next glaive that we're going to get, and also of the final glaive that we get in the game. And that pretty much sums up that whole thing.
You know, whenever you and I say glaive, I just can't, not think of Professor Frink from The Simpsons.
And why is, pray tell, is that?
He says glaiven all the time.
You see, this is what happens when you're dealing with a Simpsons pleb.
Volk would have gotten that! Why isn't Volk here? Answer, because he wouldn't know what the fuck to talk about here.
Because I recorded this footage.
Yeah, that too.
So yes, I promise we won't be fishing for that much longer. I think I was just like, let's just try and get some more dough in. But we have actually got some important stuff to do, and to be fair, it's getting near night time, so I should probably get on.
Ah yes, Betty by times for the goddess. Oh, it's nice to see you again, Benkei. Enjoy retirement, man. You've earned it, Jesus.
Now, I will say that we are going to be in side quest mode for quite a few parts now. We've got plot happening in the next one.
Okay.
But that is only kind of a smallish part of everything that's coming. So be prepared for lots of very off-the-wall commentary, because I think we're going to be slightly going dilally.
Well, if you want a more straightforward sort of commentary, our playthrough of Wonder Boy: The Dragon's Trap, the 2017 one, is, airing this week, in massive quotation marks, airing, like it's a television show or something. But I had a fun time with that, and that's me and Volk, so enjoy. That's where Volk is. He's not here.
I'm very intrigued by that playthrough, because obviously I have no idea what it's about. So I will definitely be tuning in.
It's a cutesy 2D platformer remake of a Master System game.
Ooh.
Because we didn't have enough 2D platformer playthroughs on this channel. Gonna have one more.
Well, to be fair, we're dealing with a 3D action-adventure RPG right now, so any 2D platformers that we can have to try and balance out the 3D-ness totally makes sense.
I'm always kind of, conscious of, overdoing it with the 2D platformer stuff, because I forget whether it was last year or the year before, in the middle of the year, it was just, retro platformer, and they were all, really short and not that filling, so to speak. I like doing them. I don't think they hold up all that well, but I think stuff like Mega Man X, Sonic 2, Wonder Boy, and the playthrough we've got coming up after Wonder Boy is done should wet your whistles if you like 2D platformer playthroughs.
I'm intrigued by this one that I'm not sure whether I know what it is or not.
I'll tell you when we hit, stop on Audacity in terms of record. And really, this part should just be called Shilling Sei-an City, because I've just basically been bigging up HFC from beginning to now.
Well, it's totally fair, because we're just running around trying to bloom trees and make sure I've dug everything up. Because, ultimately, in order to do one of the side quests that is coming up in the Commoners' Quarter, we need to make sure that we have bloomed every single tree in Sei-an City.
Okay.
So it's very important. Also, I love how different this couple is. He loves dogs, she hates them.
Yeah, well, ironic considering who he married.
Oh, that is brutal, Tom.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Man, this place looks so much better now we have removed said fart gas. I'm sorry to belabor a point, but man, it's amazing what a lick of colour can do to liven up your spirits.
I mean, it was like really awful and stanky and cursed and everything, and now it's just like relaxed and chill and really quite serene. I have to say, I do prefer the Commoners' Quarter overall, but that's just because it's got a little bit more bustle going on in it, rather than this rather large, slightly empty area. There's one place in the Aristocratic Quarter that is quite fun, but we're not going to be able to get there until quite a while. And even when we can reach it, we can't actually do anything there for even longer.
Okay. It's funny you called it, like, empty and whatnot, because just running about put me in mind of Goemon for the N64 for some reason.
Uh-huh.
I didn't really have an add-on to that, it's just I tried to make a very slapdash comparison and it backfired.
Well, you see, that is your own fault entirely. Now, I'm doing something that is actually really quite silly to be doing right now. I should wait until I have the ability to more effectively traverse over water. But no, I'm going to do it now because I want everything now. You see, I have fallen prey to the typical millennial thing of wanting everything now, the instant gratification.
Fucking start with that millennial garbage, okay? Baby boomers, millennials, Generation X, what fucking ever, you're all the goddamn same. You'll all die the same eventually.
Exactly. I mean, it's all ridiculous. There is something to be said about the fact that everyone is a little bit more susceptible to wanting instant gratification these days than perhaps they were.
Well,
But really, these things happen. But you see, the reason that I wanted to get over here is there's a stray bead. I should have waited, but I want it now.
fair enough, mate. And, you know, just going back to that, it's like, some things, yes, you do want instant gratification from. When I'm ordering food, it would be nice to have it now, rather than later. And, you know, people misuse the term entitled so much nowadays. Like, oh, you dare to criticise this thing? You're letting wolves drown, for God's sake, it's not right! But yeah, don't misuse entitlement. I think it's been beaten enough as is. Don't beat it more, you word beater.
Yeah, I have to say that is probably one of the words that frustrates me the most whenever I see it used, because often it is used entirely incorrectly. There are certain things where people feign entitlement.
Yeah.
And other times where people are entirely entitled to what they're talking about, and it's ridiculous to call them entitled in a negative way, because ultimately, yeah, they are totally entitled to have that thought or what have you.
It's just a childish, like, dullard way of trying to dismiss legit criticism towards something. Yeah, sometimes people do go over the top and are completely not entitled to what they're asking for. But say I purchase a video game and it doesn't work correctly, like, I don't know, 35% of the time, yes, I am entitled to bitch, because having bought the product, I am entitled to give my opinion on its slapdashness.
You see, this is how entitled is used correctly, but the industry seems to have misappropriated it and buggered the whole thing up.
No, it's not the industry, it's the fucking people who support the industry.
Well, yes. It all ties together. The industry and the people who support the industry are technically one in the same, if you're looking at the broad strokes of everything.
Wow, man.
But it's not entirely that important, because we broke into the Empress's palace area, which is probably not good, and I don't know how these guards haven't turned around and seen that there's a wolf running about in there, despite the fact that if we tried to walk through the gate normally, they just chuck us out.
In case you're wondering how we got in here, I basically jumped off of my soapbox over the wall.
Well, no, the real thing is that we used Veil of Mist to sneak past them.
Fair enough.
But apparently, Queen Himiko has foreseen our coming, but we need to get past a Sea of Flame, so we can't go see her yet.
Okay.
It will make sense later, but it will make no sense whatsoever. So look forward to that moment.
That's a bit of a contradiction there. It will make sense later, but it won't make sense. Well, what are you trying to say, Rich?
I mean exactly what I said.
I'll take your word for it for now, I suppose.
You'll be both like thinking this is really quite awesome and also being incredibly confused.
This is dumb as fuck, but I like it.
Indeed.
That's bullshit, but I believe it.
So, we have now made our way into essentially one of the treasure rooms, so we are stealing from royalty right now.
Nice, right after we, got rewarded by royalty. Well, if you think
Exactly!
Well, if you think about it, the Emperor didn't really give us anything. He allowed us the opportunity to purchase stuff from him.
Exactly, so we are entitled
yes.
to go stealing his stuff right now, because he didn't give us stuff for free. We rescued everything, therefore we're entitled to a little bit of a pay.
No, we're entitled to feel good about doing a good thing. Pay.
Yeah, this is true.
If it wasn't established beforehand, you are not entitled to anything after the fact.
This is very true.
Richard, we had like a whole 5-minute section where we discussed the true meaning of entitlement.
I know. Well, you see, this is what I do. Is I misappropriate the word and abuse it just to see if you were paying attention.
Sure, yeah. Thank God it's near the end of the park, because I am getting overheated here, and I didn't want to visit.
Oh no!
I didn't want to visit your smelly palace thing. I'll go over here.
I mean, to be fair, I have to say it probably would not be pleasant in Sei-an City in the summertime, because I mean it would be really stanky there, because they don't necessarily. Well, I don't know whether they bathe properly in this day and age, and also they don't have like proper industrial fans, so they're going to be really hot and sweaty, like we are right now, and it will be a very sad day.
Well, you didn't need to describe my current sweatitude to people. That makes me uncomfortable. Okay.
Oh, don't worry, I'm sitting here with ridiculously sweaty palms because it's too warm, so it's all good.
Okay, and on that note, see you next time.